Hello students, welcome back to my English class. Today I am going to discuss the 6th unit, Babar Ali, world's youngest headmaster. So here is the author of this lesson, Samarpita Mukherjee Sharma. Samarpita Mukherjee Sharma is the associate editor of Youth Leader magazine. She has introduced the youth icon Babar Ali to the readers. So her minor details about Babar Ali has helped the readers to understand that nothing is impossible in life. Babar Ali. So we are introduced to this person as the world's youngest headmaster. Yes, at the age of 16, he became the headmaster. Students, when we hear the word headmaster, what comes to our mind? Headmaster is a very senior person. After particular age or after having certain years of experience, he or she will be promoted into the position of the headmaster. Whereas here, Babar Ali got into the position of headmaster at the very early age, when he was about 16 years in his teenage. So, he had begun teaching at the age of 9, mostly as a game, and then decided to continue teaching other children at a larger scale. So let us go through the details of Babar Ali. Babar Ali must be the youngest headmaster in the world. As I have told, he became the headmaster when he was 16 years of age. So where did he teach? Where did he conduct the class? He was in charge of teaching hundreds of students in his family's backyard, where he runs classes for poor children from his village. Once again, note that there was no separate school or there was no good building for his school. He taught his students, he taught the poor children in his family's backyard, in an open air. There was no classroom or any other infrastructure in his school. So, the story of this young man from Murshidabad in West Bengal is a remarkable tale of the desire to learn amid the direst poverty. So now, while youth leader volunteer, Tanveer would like to introduce you to this extraordinary change maker. Look at the word they have used, extraordinary change maker. Definitely he is an extraordinary person, because at the very young age, at the very small age, he has taken a big responsibility. So definitely he is an extraordinary person. Now look at the daily routine of Babar. He wakes up at 7 and finishes his morning household work, then gets into the auto rickshaw, walks, and after that he walks for 5 kilometers and finally goes to Kosim Bazar Rajgovinda Sundari Vidyapeeth, where he is a class 12th student. Note that even though he was the headmaster, he himself was a student in Kosim Bazar Rajgovinda Sundari Vidyapeeth. Very important question for 1 mark. They might ask, name the school where Babar Ali was studying. Answer is Kosim Bazar Rajgovinda Sundari Vidyapeeth. So, look at the way how he was in his class. He was thin and gangly boy. He was very studious and smart. He was very much interested in studying. He was a brilliant student in the class. At the same time, he was very active. So, all these qualities were quite common for a student in the school. But what is the strange thing in him is the work which he does after his school hour. What is the work? What does he do after his regular school hours? When every teenager goes running off to the playground and gets busy with football, cricket and other sports, Babar makes his way to an afternoon school where he is the headmaster of a school of 800 students. Usually, this is how the students' life is. After finishing their school in the evening, what they do, what they expect, they go to the playground to play, or they want to go home and watch the TV, or they want to sit and relax. This is what the children want to do. Whereas this boy was, after the school hour, he went to his afternoon school to teach the children, to teach the poor children. Now, welcome to Babar Ali's school. Let us see, the speaker is going to describe his school. It is a dilapidated concrete structure covered in half-tone posters. Inside, in a tiny, dank room behind a desk, sits someone even the Queen of England knows by name, and you should too. Now, the first sentence itself tells us the condition of Babar Ali's office room. How was it? It was an old room. There was no good ambience there. Okay, it was covered in half-tone posters. The room was not so good looking. And inside that room sits someone even the Queen of England knows by name. Note this line. It shows how popular Babar Ali was. Even Queen of England knows his name. So behind the office is a gate that opens to Babar's home. Okay, it goes to Babar's home, and there is a place where hundreds of children sit and gain the education. So here, this is where 800 kids who are deprived from their basic right for education walk miles to learn free of cost the basic and fundamentals of life. So here, Babar Ali provides the poor children a good quality of education. He provides the education which is equal to the education given in the bigger schools where the children of rich class pay in dollars. So let's take a minute over here and think. While we whine about our allowances and fuss about staying out late, this average boy from a small village is actually helping to make this world a better place. So for example, students, in case if the teacher asks you to stay back for the special class, usually special classes will be conducted after the regular school hours. So how will be the reaction of the students? Students starts to make a fussy face. They will not be interested to stay back for the special class. Why? Because after finishing their regular school hours, they just want to go home and relax or enjoy. So definitely they'll make a fussy face. They'll not show much interest. But this boy is very active. He is not of that category. He is not like other students, other children. He takes the extra effort to teach the poor children. So when did he do this work? When did he take the responsibility of teaching what is the timings? It is after his school, that is in the afternoon. So here, Babar happens to be one of the fortunate souls in his village. He lives with his 3 siblings and his parents in a thatched house which is the size of an average city kitchen. So Babar, he is the luckiest person in his village because in his family, he is the first person to gain education. He lives with his 3 siblings and his parents in Murshidabad, West Bengal. Okay, so how was his house? It was a thatched house which is the size of an average city kitchen. So, it is very clear that Babar Ali is not from a very rich class family. He is from middle class. He lives in a very small house, but still he has taken extra responsibility to teach the underprivileged kids, underprivileged children. Even his family members supported him. So, he was better off also in being the son of Naziruddin Sheikh. One more important question for 1 mark. They might ask, what is the name of Babar Ali's father? Answer is Naziruddin Sheikh. And Naziruddin Sheikh's profession was, he was a jute seller and a dropout. Meaning of dropout is a person who has discontinued his or her studies. So even though he was a dropout, he supported his son's venture. He supported his son to run the school. So he believed that education is man's true religion. This is a very important statement. They might ask this question for 1 mark as well as for 4 marks. Education is man's true religion. Now, even though children are provided free education, sending children to school is not entirely free of cost. Now, Babar Ali he had provided free education to the poor children, but still some parents could not send their children to the school. Why? Because they had to spend on the books and the uniforms. So they were really finding it difficult. So what did they do? Instead of sending their children to school, they sent them to work. So what are the various jobs undertaken by these children? We'll see. Even this is very important for 1 mark. Boys were working as mechanics, day laborers, grass cutters, livestock herders, etc. Whereas girls work as maid servants in the village, where they cook, clean, wash clothes and dishes for their employers. So these are the different jobs undertaken by the children, underprivileged children. So that is why he took the initiative of opening his very own school. Which is his school? Anand Shiksha Niketan. Note that, important question for 1 mark. Anand Shiksha Niketan is the name of the school where Babar Ali was the headmaster. He actually started his school at the mere age of 9. So when he started the school at the age of 9, how did he start? What has influenced him to start the school? See there, we used to play school with me as a teacher. So a game has influenced Babar Ali to start the school. Which game is that? School game, or in other words we can say that a teacher-student game. Okay, so in this game Babar was a teacher and his friends were his students, and he used to teach arithmetic, maths to his friends, and they really enjoyed the way Babar taught them. So in 2002, the game got institutionalized with the strength of 8. So finally, what happened? The word spread and the numbers grew. Initially, when he had started the school, the strength was just 8. But later on, the news was spread. He got help from various corners. See, look at the people who had helped Babar. Babar's own teachers, monks at the local Ramakrishna mission, sympathetic IAS officers, even local cops. Okay, so these were the people who helped Babar. When Babar first thought up a midday meal scheme, the rice came from his father's fields. But now, with the aid of friends in the administration, it comes from government stock. So initially, he had started midday meal like other government schools. Even Babar provided midday meals to the children. So initially, his father contributed the rice. But later on, due to his friends' influence, the rice came from government. So today, 9 years down the line, the school has 60 regular attendees and over 220 students on roll call and 800 students in total. 60 regular attendees, and altogether the strength was 800. Okay, most of the students were irregular to the class. Once in a while, they used to attend the class. And there were 10 teachers, 10 volunteer teachers teaching grades 1 through 8. Now his little afternoon venture is registered and recognized by the West Bengal state government. So his school got a recognition from West Bengal state government. So students, those who have finished the primary level of education in Babar Ali school, were eligible to continue their high school in other government schools. So when the children of the village and localities nearby are done with their jobs at daytime, they run to attend Babar's afternoon school. So the children, after finishing during daytime, in the morning they used to go to work, and in the afternoon they arrive in time for Tulu Mashi's opening bell. Tulu Mashi is an attender of his school. So when she rings the bell, as soon as she rings the bell, the children, the students reaches to the school. Meet some pure, good, kind souls. Clad in widow's white, stick in hand, Tulu Rani Hazra is an illiterate fishmonger by morning and a crusading educationalist by afternoon. Tulu Rani Hazra, important question. Tulu Rani Hazra was an illiterate fishmonger. She clad in widow's white. She was a widow and she was an illiterate fishmonger. How did she support Babar Ali? In the morning, as she was selling fishes to each and every house, to the nearby villagers, her job is to convince the parents to send their children to Babar's school. She used to find the children, she used to find if there are any children who have stopped their education. So this lady, she used to catch hold of such parents and convince them to send their children to Babar's school. So altogether she recruited 80 students to the school. Now about the teaching staff. Altogether, there were 10 teaching staff in his school. Among them, 9 were high school student volunteers. And the one was the most educated, Debarita, goes to college in Behrampur. So among 10 teachers, 9 were his own friends, Baba's friends from high school, whereas one teacher was going to college, Debarita. Babar Ali gives lessons just the way he has heard them from his teachers. There is no building or establishment for his school. He teaches his students under the open sky. So how did he teach to the students? You know, he in the morning when he was in his class, he used to concentrate on the way how his teachers taught him. And he used to follow the same method in his school, Anand Shiksha Niketan. And as there was no proper infrastructure in his school, some children sit in the mud and others on rickety benches. Rickety benches is an old bench which was completely damaged under a rough homemade shelter. The family chickens scratch around nearby. In every corner of the yard, groups of children can be seen studying hard. The family chickens scratch around nearby. Look at this sentence. Usually students, what is our thinking or what is our expectation about the classroom? We expect the classroom to be well disciplined. We think that only if there is a perfect silence or perfect discipline in the class, it is possible to concentrate on the lessons. Whereas here, as there was no proper building, as there was no proper infrastructure, the family chickens were moving here and there. It is the kind of distraction. But still, the children in Anand Shiksha Niketan, they managed to concentrate on the class without getting diverted to all such minor disturbances. Easily they managed to concentrate on the class. It's much easier to enroll kids who are not old enough. So class 1 and 2 have over 200 students. Class 8 has just 20 students. So look at the strength in the smaller classes, first and second standard, there was enough strength. Whereas in 8th standard, there was just 20 students. Why? As the children grow up, the parents used to send them to the work to support the family. So they had to study 10 subjects. One more important question, note that the students studied 10 subjects in Babar Ali's school, and most of the subjects were taught by Babar and Debarita Bhattacharya. Textbooks are free from class 1st to 5th, but for the higher classes, money needs to be arranged. On any given day, there are close to 400 students physically present in Babar's front yard. Now, Babar is questioned about how he could manage the class. So his reply was, because the age gap is very less. Even he's a teenager, even he is a student. So being a student, how did he manage the other students in his school? So when he was questioned, his reply was, the narrow age gap works to our advantage. We are more like friends. The rod is paid in my school. He says, the narrow age gap is a positive thing for me. for us. Our relationship is not like teacher student relationship. We approach the students in a friendly manner, so we are not so strict to them. So this has helped me to manage the class very well. Next, so that's all I got about Babar Ali for now. So the speaker has come to the concluding part of the lesson. Getting to know about about a person like him makes me realize how insignificant I am, and yet again how lucky. Even though I finish my story here, Babar Ali's story continues. Speaker tells that I might have come to the concluding part of the lesson, whereas Babar Ali's achievement, Babar Ali's work is still going on. Babar Ali is speaker says, he is the real hero. He is the real hero. Why? Because at the very early age, he has taken a very big responsibility. When a 9-year-old boy can alone change the world, it is time for us to think about our contribution to the society. So, today a Babar Ali, maybe tomorrow it could be someone from among us. So the speaker is expecting us to consider Babar Ali as our role model. So it is when we are concerned about our surroundings, and instead of complaining, if we can bring about a change, it will be a great contribution to the society from us. So speaker says, here is to Babar Ali. We salute you for dreaming and making your dreams come true. A hats off to Babar Ali, the youngest headmaster, an extraordinary change maker. Okay, that's all about this lesson. Thank you.